Hello, friends and your friends. Welcome to On Top of the World. As always, I'm Joshua Hadley, and I'm joined by the banana, the man with the power to suit to be sour, the one spent the mental great planet Earth. He still knows coming yet.
Hello, hi. I'm Gopher, Justin, Snoopy apparently, and we also have a pal with us this week, as we've mentioned several times.
Mm.
We have our good gay friend Razor.
Oh, that's what I'm designating. I thought I was going to be the WWE Stan Razor, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
We have a quota.
I meet two of them.
Well, he is also Hispanic.
So, kicking off today, this is a podcast on Top of the World sponsored by the Kotzebue Chess Club, and we're gonna start off with we have our first winner of the chess puzzler. Dominik Ivanov figured out the puzzle on Facebook over at the Barrow building. Handed him his prize, and this week for the puzzler we have a book, How to Beat Your Dad at Chess by Grandmaster Murray Chandler.
Should have just been called How to Beat Your Dad.
Yeah, I agree. That would have gotten more clicks for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, since the book starts off, if you're listening to this podcast, you should get this unfair advantage. There's a back rank checkmate. It's white to move and checkmate black in 2 moves. Since the book starts off with a back rank checkmate, I put that type of a puzzle there. I'm not gonna explain it to you, but maybe just what it's called alone will be enough to help. And yeah, if you figure out this puzzle, well, by the time this is up online, it's on Facebook. So yeah, just check us out on Facebook, Kotzebue Chess Club, and comment on the pinned post. And we're doing the Gopher and Tuck Rapid Coliseum, April the 15th on chess.com. It's gonna start 11:30 Kotzebue time. What time's that in Texas?
2:30. It'll start roughly around 2:30 in my time, roughly around 12:30, and in the California time of our gay Hispanic friend here.
It's
gonna be like I live in the past, and then Alaska's even worse than us.
Anyway, no, that's been one of our sponsored segments. Anyway, so this is the WrestleMania episode, and you went, right, Razor?
Yeah, I was there live.
Yeah. We didn't have a great time getting into the building. How was it for you when we went back in 2016?
It was so I bought floor seats, and they have a different line for those, and those were like it was super easy for me to get in. Getting out was the hard part, and the arena is very weird, right? So like to get to the upper seats, you can take any floor basically. You get to the right section. To get to the bottom seats, I feel like I had to go to a portal in time or something. It was like, it wasn't like or anything.
Was it like a long tunnel, like going like back and forth?
The tunnel was on the way out. On the way in to the arena, I had to like go down some stairs, go down an elevator, go down another set of stairs, walk through these double glass doors. I showed my ticket like 4 different times, and I had to wristband had like the floor thing. I was like, oh, floor seats. Okay, come through here, downstairs, go further down. Another. Oh, where do you sit? Over here. Cool. Ticket again. Blah blah blah. 4 different times, and then finally when I got to the exit, like you enter the arena through the bottom, like the last tier of seats that go up. You know what I mean? Like the front row of seats that go up. You go out through that section, and then from there you go down the stairs all the way out into the middle of the arena. So like there's no like door to get out through there until the end of the show where they jam packed everyone through the big double doors, and then you have to go like in a big circle upstairs. It was a weird thing, but it wasn't too bad. It was pretty easy getting in and out.
It was easy for us to get out, I think, but getting in was the fuck shit. And it was
a nightmare.
The fucking I don't get the wristband thing. Like, you have a ticket. Why do you need a wristband? Which
I guess you just show it to them.
Yeah, that was the issue for us because they didn't tell us we needed a wristband when we came in.
They didn't give us any.
Yeah, like there was no indication that floor seat people needed a wristband when we came in. So we ended up in this like massive heap of people because nobody had wristbands, so they weren't being let in. Yeah, so we ended up. It was a whole fucking mess.
I remember like at one point we were just walking, like we just started walking past some person asking to see it, and like I don't know if they just started letting people through, or people were just like, screw this, we want to watch the show, because we did miss a couple of things on the pre-show.
We missed the entire pre-show. I think that's why they finally were like, I think they were finally like, all right, just go ahead, because the fucking main show was finally about to start.
How soon before the show did you guys go?
We were there early.
Yeah, we were there like a few hours before the pre-show was supposed to start.
Yeah. Oh, then that's crazy, because we got there at like an hour before, because doors opened at 2:30. The show was meant to start at 4:30, though it didn't start till 5, obviously. So we were at the gates, because we had separate seats, so they had like their own entry, I had my own entry. But we were at our respective gates like half an hour before the doors even opened, and it wasn't too bad. Like I said, like it was okay getting in. For the wristband thing, I feel like maybe they're like too lazy to have like a bunch of ticket scanners, so they'll be like, they scan you at the door, they give you your wristband, they're like, okay, that's your seat. Go sit there. We can see by your wristband that you have that ticket. If you don't have one on, maybe you snuck in or something.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad if it was like it was for you, but for us, they just didn't fucking tell anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
And they took his cup too.
My Snoopy water bottle that Moose got me, that was like an actual, like, not cheap water bottle. It was. I was
telling you, they probably wouldn't let that in. You're like, screw it.
I mean, it was like a fucking like a 20-minute walk from the car.
No, it was.
So I didn't want to like have to go all the way back just to fucking put my empty water bottle back.
Yeah,
these fuckers, and it was a situation, but it was apparently a lot easier for Razor, which is good.
So where you at?
The stadium was great. I like the stadium.
Night 2 only. He was only at night 2.
Oh, so you watched night 1 like we did?
Yes, I watched night 1 on Peacock. Peacock TM. Registered trademark or whatever.
Defined like we did.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I watched it on Peacock. It was fine. It worked fine for me. I enjoyed night 1 a lot. Obviously, I enjoyed night 1 a lot. On like the pay-per-view itself was better. Because I rewatched night 2 later on TV on Peacock or whatever. The show itself was better, but I obviously enjoyed night 2 a lot more simply because I went to it.
We actually went there, yeah.
I really enjoyed night 1. I took a bath with some Epsom salts. I came back and see Rey Mysterio was wrestling in the sun.
he spanked him, literally.
That was a great match.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about anything before that happened that I missed out on, like Austin Theory,
like before Rey versus Dominik?
Yeah,
there was quite a few things before that. So for night 1, I was gonna watch on Peacock, but I was in a call with people on Discord, and the idea was that one of us would share the screen so that we were all like watching at the same time rather than people getting at different times, causing issues with that.
I can't watch on Discord, like it'll be like watching Ring of Honor for me, where shit's gonna have to buffer.
So the issue was this program I got that usually gets me around like copyrights that makes it a black screen when streaming stuff on Discord wasn't working anymore. So that was unable to happen. So somebody else had to stream it through less than good means. So there was a bit of cutting out here and there. So I missed some of the stuff happening on night 1, but I don't remember much about Theory versus Cena. I know people apparently didn't like it, and also I know that John Cena's poor fucking hair.
Yeah, that bald spot.
He's old,
but yeah.
The man's like getting to his 50s, isn't he? Yeah, he has nice hair for a 45-year-old man. I can't judge.
I mean, at least he has his actual hair, unlike whatever the fuck Vince McMahon's doing right now.
Right.
Yeah. Theory 1. The only thing I really remember was there was a part where John Cena like loudly shouted "sleeper" before a sleeper spot.
I remember that because it was when he was running across the ropes, but I didn't actually hear it. Maybe it was the way I was watching it, but I didn't hear the call. I remember him putting on the STF. The match was okay. I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was great. It was very short. I'm okay with it being short. I don't think Cena wants to wrestle a very long match right now at his age. It was 11 minutes, pretty decent. Theory won not cleanly. I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like if they're gonna put him over with the Cena win, it should have been clean. And if they weren't, if they were going to go down the route of like maybe he loses to Cena and becomes like more humble as a result and changes his character, that would have been cool too. I was okay with him winning though. That's fine. I think it's it's good to put over younger stars, but I don't know why he had to do it super dirty like that. But okay, like a low blow.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't looking at the screen when the spot was called. I thought that somebody on commentary was calling a sleeper happening, and their headset had fallen off. That's what I thought it was, and I looked over and I was like, "Where the fuck's a sleeper?" And then like 2 seconds later, a sleeper hold was blood.
Fair.
Mm.
I mean, I saw the spot. It was like Austin Theory ran at John Cena from the ropes, and then he jumped up and caught him in a sleeper.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't hear the call.
Mhm. I think specifically he shouted or like he yelled at him, "Put me in a sleeper" or something like that. But it was only the part where he actually said sleeper that was like really audible.
That's fair. I think. I mean, getting way ahead, which we'll get to later, but the KO and Sami fight, I did hear that call. And the one that everyone talks about for that one. But I didn't hear the Cena one, but I did hear that one.
Apparently, like I guess like the mics on the like turnbuckles, like on the corners, was too loud, and so that was causing some more than usual spot calling to be heard.
You talk too much.
You talk too much.
After that,
shut up.
Was the men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match where the Street Profits defeated Braun Strowman and Ricochet, Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders. And goddamn, Chad Gable's good.
That match was so much better than I expected it to be.
That
I don't get hyped for big tag team matches like that, and that match was amazing. It was so much fun.
That fucking rolling German suplex that Chad did to Braun Strowman, ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I watched when I was watching it. I was also watching on Discord. I was watching with a bunch of normies that don't watch wrestling. Like I told you about that group, the RuneScape clan. And all of them were amazed by that spot. Like, wait, he's not gonna lift him. He's not gonna. Oh my god, what the hell? Like it was insane. Like it's one of those things. Like it's like a Hogan lifting Andre moment, but like modern times.
Yeah, more impressive as well.
Oh yeah, far more impressive. All Hogan had to do was like carry him up for like a little bit, then drop him. He had to actually pick him up all the way up.
Yeah. Oof. But and plus, like Chad's fucking tiny compared to Hogan.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
He's a small boy.
Tiny. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, very fun match. I like the Street Profits a lot, so I'm happy they won.
Me too.
I was expecting Braun and Ricochet to win, which I did not want because, I mean, I kind of like Braun as a wrestler.
I do too.
As a person.
I like Braun as a wrestler. I think he's a good thing to have around. For what he's doing right now, it's fine. Him and Ricochet, but obviously Street Profits are way better and they deserve the win.
Yeah. The Street Profits are great. I keep being told because like I don't actually watch the weekly product, but I keep being told that like they're gonna separate, which I've been told for like fucking several months. So I'm like, they're not gonna win a match if they're gonna separate. But they won. So
I don't think they're gonna separate. I mean, I don't know. They've had Montez Ford specifically do a lot of solo stuff, but he's still cool with Angela. Like they haven't separated. They just like they make jokes about it. They hint at it like, oh, you're doing a solo match, right? You're leaving him behind, and then like next week they're back together. So I don't think they're separating. I think they're just like they have.
And it would make sense like if they're gonna separate. You think you kind of want it to mean something, so jobbing them out. I don't think that's the right direction to go either.
That's true.
But so very very good match. Good one for the Street Profits. Surprisingly short. It was only 8.5 minutes, but it was a lot going on. Fun match. Chad Gable's ridiculous, and then that leads us to a match with somebody who is way better than he has any fucking right to be. Logan Paul taking on Seth Rollins with one of Seth's most ridiculous outfits yet.
I loved it. I was
what was he wearing?
A lot of people are comparing it to a mixture of Shawn Michaels and Jeff Jarrett, but like pink, like bright ass pink.
It was so good that because you heard that the reason why he wears him and Becky both wear the outfits is they challenge each other to out crazy each other with the outfits. It was so good that there was like a clip from backstage where Becky saw him and he's like showing it to her and she's like, oh okay, that's not fair, you win. Okay. She's because it was that crazy. I loved it. I'm here for it.
Ridiculous outfit. Seth is one of my favorites, one of my favorite versions of Seth. This was I feel like everyone at this point expects Logan Paul's matches to be super fun. Yeah, this one was.
It was great,
unsurprisingly, and I'm very glad. So that he came out with like
a former Ring of Honor world champion.
Yeah, he came out with like a fucking guy dressed up as a Prime mascot, like his energy drink. And I and others were very worried that it was going to be Jake Paul, who is like Logan is questionable as a person. Jake is way fucking worse.
Yeah, Jake is a bad person. Logan's like
iffy. Yeah. Plus he's like appeared once before for WWE in a thing with Logan, but ended up being KSI.
No, I thought you were going to talk about
okay with
when Jake was on the thing with Jerry Lawler.
It ended up being KSI, and then they did a spot where like Logan went to do a like leap to the outside onto Seth, but then Seth moved and he ended up landing on KSI instead. So I wasn't expecting KSI to take a bump like that. That was cool.
Yeah.
Super fun match. Seth won. Yeah, really fun. Really fun. 16 minutes, 15 seconds.
Yeah, I had no complaints about that at all. I was very happy Seth won. I did think for a second they're gonna have Logan win, which I was like, I'm not gonna shout him like he's a fine wrestler, he performs well, whatever. I don't want him to beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Like that would have been disappointing to me. I was very happy Seth won. The match was great, no complaints at all. Like it was really well done. Real quick for the I think for the tag team match, I said it was kind of short. I'm very happy that it was short because I feel like that the time was perfect for it for what it was. It was like a showcase match, just do your spots real quick, get out of the way. So I like that. With the Seth versus Logan Paul match, 60 minutes was like the perfect mark for it. I think if it had gone longer, it would feel like trying to make it too important when it's not it's not for any title. It's just like a personal blood feud. I think it was perfect the way it was. Just blood feud. They get their spots out. They have they give it a little bit of time to stretch it out. Perfect. Loved it.
Yeah. Up next was Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, where obviously Trish, Lita, and Becky won because it's fucking Trish, Lita, and Becky. I don't remember much about this match. Other people in the Discord call seem to enjoy it. Although the general consensus I've seen outside of that hasn't been great, but I don't really remember much of what happened. I don't think I was paying too much attention. I just remember like when Lita won the tag titles with Becky, she was very slow.
Yes, that hasn't changed. My even the non-wrestling fan friends noticed that they were like, "Oh yeah, I like Lita. I grew up on her." Blah blah. And they're like, she's very slow. I can't really talk shit though. I understand she's like getting a little older, whatever. I can't expect her. And I'm like, yeah, her and Trish are here for the the nostalgia spot. Like they're not here for like to put on technical classics, right? They're older. They've been in the ring for a very long time. They're here to be like whatever. For what it was, I think it was fine. I don't think it was like some 5-star match at all. It wasn't like technical masterpiece. Lita did, she brought it. She was a little slow, but she brought it. She had some new moves that she innovated that were pretty cool. I hadn't seen done before. So it was good. It was very slow. Not the best selling. You could make a list of complaints for it, but for what it was fine. It was cool. Good job.
Of course, it wasn't a 5-star match. There was 6 stars in the Razor. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, 6 women in a ring, 6 stars. There you go.
And then we got to the one that Moose showed up for, Rey Mysterio versus his son, Dominik Mysterio. Well, Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero's son, Dominik Mysterio. The best thing, I thought the match itself was good, but the best thing about the match, the attires for both guys.
Ray came out with wearing Rey Senior.
Yeah, he was like wearing Rey Mysterio Senior's mask and stuff reminiscent of that. Dominik came out with like a whole bunch of Eddie Guerrero stuff. Fucking Rey came out riding a lowrider with Snoop Dogg. Playing
cool.
What fucking song was it? What did it start with? What Snoop song? Was it Nothing But a G Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it started with that, and then it like cycled through like 3 songs. That whole get up was fun. Dominik's outfit great. And it was a pretty good match. Dominik is still
a lot. I think Dominik has gotten a lot better, and it shows. If you compare him like a year ago, he was not good in the ring. Now he's like able to put on like a really, really good story in the ring with Rey.
Yeah.
People were asking like, who's gonna be the bigger star, Dominik or Hook? And it seems like Dominik is sort of.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy because a year ago you wouldn't have expected that because Hook had more potential early on, but Dominik has gotten a lot better. He's gotten the big spots. Obviously being Rey's son helps a lot because Taz is cool, but obviously Taz is not Rey. Rey's a good mega star, and he has a son in the. It seems pretty evident, but Dominik's getting the spot with Bad Bunny, I think now from he was attacked him on Raw, whatever. They're obviously gonna have to do something at Backlash, which being in the ring with Bad Bunny, like the Giga Star, like it's a pretty big deal.
Number 1 artist on Spotify.
Yeah, for like 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio won that, obviously. And he did at one point in the match spank Dominik, although it didn't end via Dominik tapping out to being spanked, which is unfortunate. But he did spank him at one point. So there was that. Which took us on to one of the best matches of both cards, in my opinion. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
Amazing.
Where Rhea won the SmackDown Women's Championship. Fantastic match. It was the 3rd longest match between the 2 nights at 23 minutes, 35 seconds. only longer matches were the main event of night 1 and the main event of night 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
The match was excellent. One of my friends joined he joined the call while we were watching it halfway through that match, saying, I haven't watched wrestling in a long time. I think I've heard of Rhea and I've heard of Charlotte. Yeah, they're pretty cool, whatever. I think she was at the Riptide, right? Okay, yeah, I'll watch this. It was like halfway through the match, so it was like, already, past the first 11 minutes of it or so. And by the end of it, he was super like enamored. Like, oh my god, that was amazing! Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
It's a guy that has never watched wrestling or that hasn't seen that in like many years.
Yeah.
Seen, like, clips of it on TikTok or whatever, but hasn't watched it. The match is amazing. It was perfect.
It was.
Well done. The right.
There were 2 moments. So there was 2 spots where Charlotte sort of did a moonsault. Like one was an actual moonsault, and then one was like her being thrown off the top rope, but then like she did like a moonsault kind of motion. They were both way faster than Charlotte's usual moonsaults. Like she usually does like a slow motion thing, but this time she did like some super fucking quick moonsaults, which was cool.
Yeah, I remember when Rhea won the Rumble, people were pissed that, I think even in our Discord, people were pissed that she didn't choose Bianca. And I said that I'm very happy she didn't. I said I'm very happy she chose Charlotte because I feel like they're going to put a great match together. And only that, but this is Rhea's moment to win. And I feel like she shouldn't beat Bianca yet. But like her versus Charlotte would, I said from the start, I was like, I'm happy with the decision. I think it's gonna be a great match, and I think Rhea's gonna win. It's gonna be a big moment for her, and I feel like I was proven right with that match because it was really, really good, and she won in a very good, dominant fashion against Charlotte Flair. Rhea's made now. Like that's like a star-making moment for
her. Yeah. Which also helps Dominik because she is Dominik's Dom.
Yeah, she is Dominik's Dom. She makes Dominik into Subanik.
Yeah. She 100% uses a 12-inch dildo on Dominik.
Oh, for sure.
Like, let's get that out the way.
Not even a question.
Yeah, fantastic match. Moose, any thoughts?
Hopefully they stop doing the 2 champions thing, and there's we get Bianca or Ripley or whatever, a unification.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think like for the men having the one title, like as much as it does, like okay, yeah, Roman has held it long, whatever. I think having one title makes it more valuable, and I think it would probably be the same with Rhea and Bianca if they do combine them. But I don't know. As of right now, I'm okay with the 2. But if they do combine them, I'll be cool with that too.
Yeah, but besides that, really a great match. Fantastic.
Super fucking good. We had an impromptu match with The Miz taking on the returning Pat McAfee, which was, a little short, fun thing to just throw in,
just sort of happened for me. Like, there's The Miz, there's Pat.
I like Pat. I like Pat. The Miz. So, it was a fun little thing to sort of separate 2 banger matches to end the show.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy they had it. It wasn't like a serious match. I don't consider it like part of the card.
It wasn't good as night 2. I'll just say that.
Of course not. Yeah. Night 2 was much better. But the segment did its job. It was good.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed the commentary with Cole and Corey, with like Corey just being super fucking pissed about Pat being there and Cole marking out. It was fun stuff.
Yeah, I do like that gimmick for them.
Yeah. And finally, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. Kevin Steen and El Generico defeated the Usos to become the new champions in the first ever tag title main event of WrestleMania.
Yep.
Fucking amazing. 5 stars.
Amazing match. Amazing moment with the win, especially like the way it happened with Sami doing like numerous haluva kicks to Jay.
Yeah. Oh, that was great.
Just super fucking great match. Super great way to end the show. And, we had Owens and Sami.
They didn't do a TNA finish in a WrestleMania main event. Seems like the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh, I'm going to give a popular opinion here. I'm such a victim. But I did get some heat a while back for saying this, but I legitimately think the Usos are the best tag team in the world. I think they, over the past, like, since they had their titles, they've proven that time and time again. I think they're better than the Bucks. They're better than New Day. And I love New Day, mind you. I'm like a New Day mark. They're better than New Day. They're better than, anyone else. So, like, this title reign solidified it. They deserve the main event. I'm happy that they lost it. They lost their titles that they've held for such a long time in such a good way. That was like a well done way to end their like iconic reign. They're so fucking good though. Every time they're in the ring together, they're so good. They steal the show. And that was I'm very happy that match was the main event. It deserved it.
I don't personally think they're the best tag team in the world. However, I think they're up there, and I feel like not enough people think that they're like as high up as they should be considered. And I've thought that they've been a fantastic team for years now. I remember they had a really good match for the tag titles. I forgot when it was, what show, what year, but it was against Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
I was gonna ask
years
if it was
back.
the
Yeah.
Wyatts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before
Yeah,
they were like the
Three,
Usos.
best 2 out
Yeah.
of 3 or whatever.
Yeah. Fucking like that. That's the match where I was like, okay, this team is actually really fucking good, and they've just been fantastic.
Yeah. That match was excellent. I know what you're referring to. They had a few of them. I think they had one of them that might have been like a ladder match too. I don't remember. I don't know, but
yeah, specifically 2 out of 3 falls is the one I'm thinking of, and yeah,
that's the one. Yes.
great
Right. It might have
match.
been a Money in the Bank, and that's what I was thinking of that. But that match was great, and that was before they were the Usos. You know, like they were obviously they were the Usos, but they were
like before the heel turn where they like changed the gimmick up.
But like they're so good at storytelling. They're so good at like you know, people got mad they did a lot of super kicks, and I get that. Like sometimes they do overdo with that, but it's like I think if for WrestleMania and like the main event of WrestleMania, I think it's fine. The spots they were doing were fine. They look nasty. They the way they almost killed Sami, like they almost killed him. I said I don't know. I have a hard time imagining anyone that's better than them right now. Even New Day, who I love, I think they're really really good too. But I can't think of anyone that's better than them.
And that was the end of night 1, which was overall a very very good show.
Yeah, while we're between shows, I think go for right now is a great time to do some updates.
We're gonna do some updates for the channel for the all right. Well, El Jefe and I will have completed Demon Souls, I believe, on on Twitch by the time this podcast goes out, because we're recording this pretty early compared to when we usually do. So that'll probably be available on YouTube by now. And as for speaking of YouTube, more Pokemon Sun. We are gonna start uploading now the special episodes featuring our good pal Rob / Siren of Canadian music fame, of various Nintendo 64 games played on the Switch: GoldenEye 007, Mario Kart 64, Dr. Mario 64, and a 3-parter of Mario Party, where we definitely don't get completely fucking just butt fucked by the computer. Definitely didn't happen.
You know that never happens in the Mario Party game.
Yeah. Speaking of the N64 games on the Switch, they're going to be adding Pokemon Stadium soon. So Brandon and I will likely be streaming the minigame mode from that at some point this month. I'm a big fan of that. But more Pokemon Sun going up. We started recording South Park: The Stick of Truth, which should begin going up early next month. Although the first few episodes are going to be a bit fucked technically, because for some reason, right? So Brandon's the one playing the game, so he has to record the footage. For some reason, his software recorded it way too big. Like it was 1080p, it wasn't 4K or anything. It was a 2.5 hour recording session, which usually should be like maybe 4 or 5 gigabytes. His recording ended up being like 105 gigabytes.
Hell yeah!
And so he had to like put it through Handbrake and like convert it to make it a lot smaller. And then it ended up being like super, like a slideshow almost. Like the audio sounds perfectly fine, but the video's like a slideshow. So yeah,
well,
so
I know,
first couple
fitting for South Park.
Well, so the first few episodes of that are going to be a bit sketchy in regards to that, but that'll be starting soon. GM battle continuing every Sunday. We have the first actual draft or first actual show episode that went up last week. The first episode was the draft. Second episode was us doing our first cards, and the next episode goes up tomorrow on Sunday, where we do our second week of cards. Other than that, I think that's about it for channel updates for me.
Yeah, anything you want to see going on with me, www.justwithjhadley.com. So far, I've just been working on the chess club stuff. I haven't been doing any other content.
Yeah, but there is also going to be the chess stream on the 15th, sponsored by the Katsubu Chess Club, where I will definitely be great at playing chess.
You're gonna be
I'm excited for that one.
You're gonna win the whole thing.
I'm gonna win the winner apparently gets a trophy. Razor, do you have anything you want to plug?
I am not important in any way, so no, I'm just here to watch you guys. I'm excited for the chess stream. I want to see you play chess.
Find Razor on the street and like just follow him around. Like a couple of like maybe like 30 yards away. Like
Mm,
keep about that far.
yeah, yeah. Keep a distance. You could also play Razor. It's going to be an arena, whatever the fuck that is.
Oh, I'll consider that.
Yeah. From what I understand, Abdul claims he'll be there. I have my doubts.
Well, he won't.
TJ will probably actually be there. Ian will either be there or not, depending on whether he has to work that day.
Right.
But it's going to be an arena, rapid arena or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Stuff's going to happen.
The Gopher and Tuck Rapid Coliseum 2023.
Yeah, that's what it's called. So we're gonna be doing the deal on the 15th of April.
Hell yeah. So
On the night 2.
Night 2 started off with Gopher's favorite match.
So we had Brock Lesnar versus Omos, which was exactly what you'd want Brock Lesnar versus Omos to be.
Absolutely.
Like it was short. It was a lot of stuff happening really quickly. Big boys doing big boy things. And Brock won. He was very purple after F5ing almost. Like Brock gets purple easily, but he was way more purple than I've ever seen him before after that F5.
How was it live, Razor?
It was actually. I feel like every match I'm gonna say was made. Okay, every match except for the triple threat match was way more fun live because I rewatched the whole show on Peacock, whatever. The triple threat, Gunther, Sheamus, we'll get to that later, but amazing match live, not very good, honestly. It was kind of like, it was fun. I mean, not where I was sitting, at least. Maybe where someone's had somewhere else, I might disagree. Where I was sitting, I couldn't really see too much. I couldn't really, it was mostly just watching on a screen. But Lesnar versus Omos was really, really, really fun live. Obviously, it's the first match of the card, so everyone's hyped up to finally see something. Brock's entrance live was great. Just seeing the fireworks shoot out of him as he's walking towards you, basically, from where I was sitting. It was the match itself was everything I wanted to be. Omos is not a technical wrestler. That's completely fine. There's room for different acts in pro wrestling. For him, he's the Andre. He's the big dude. That's like a freak show kind of thing, which is really cool. He comes out. He looks enormous in person. Whatever. He crushes people with his hands in 2 minutes. Cool. It's fine. The match with Brock was good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a technical masterpiece that might have done like a total of 3 moves. Perfect. That's all you need. Big boys doing 3 moves. Amazing.
Speaking of Andre, something Brandon brought up, WWE needs to branch out a bit when it comes to nicknaming tall guys, because it's like always the something giant, like almost has the Nigerian giant. They need less giant in the name.
Like Tony Khan, at least he went with Big Bill.
Big Bill. Moose, any thoughts?
I enjoyed this.
It was a fun little way to start the show.
Did gets tossed around. I mean, better than Brock versus Bray. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think that match would have been really bad. I don't think their chemistry would work there.
Yeah. I don't even know, like, as a wrestler, just they would have done something like, it's gonna be spooky,
Some like weird shit. Then we had the women's showcase tag match, which existed. Definitely like not as good as the men's one the previous night, in my opinion, but it wasn't bad. Like, I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was pretty fun. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, who were the right team to win this, they defeated Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and for some fucking reason, Natalya and Shotzi Blackheart as a team. I still don't get. They just keep putting Natalya with random women, and they don't. Let her retire.
One of them will work. One of them will work out.
Yeah, but but this time her and Pizza Cat didn't get the win. The only issue I have with it is that Ronda was the one who got the win after doing like nothing all match.
Yeah, I should have been Shayna.
She's like the Pac-Man Jones of this team.
Yeah.
I think so live, this is a girl behind me. She was cosplaying as Ronda Rousey. Very nice person. Me and her got along throughout the show, even though we disagreed almost everything. We were like cheering for different people the entire night. But she was with Ronda Rousey, and she's like a Ronda stan. And she told before the show started, she tapped my shoulder, said, "Hey, you're in front of me, so I'm just gonna let you know in advance. I am extremely loud. This is how I am. If it's a problem, you can tell me, and I'll try to wind it down a little bit." And I told her, "No. It makes it more fun. Pop off." She wasn't joking. She's very, very loud. My ears were ringing just from her alone. People like 4 rows ahead of us would turn around every time she yelled to see what the hell's going on back there. So there's one girl going, "Yes!" every time like Ronda did a single move. It was like Ronda, Liv, whoever, she liked Ronda and Liv, but she wanted Ronda to win. I did too. My thing with that match was like every team, well, not every team, I guess. Two teams had people that I don't really care too much for. Raquel Rodriguez, I'm still not hooked on her. She's getting better and stuff. I'm just not really sold on her just yet. Liv Morgan, I'm sorry, I know I'm popular. I think she's cool. I wouldn't get rid of her or anything, but I personally not a fan of her. I've seen several matches. I just can't really get the hype. Natalya and Shotzi. Natalya, in my opinion, has always been pretty mid. Like she hasn't been great. She's I don't even blame her necessarily, but she's kind of like the Dolph Ziggler of the women's division. Like whenever I see like a big woman join, like she's gonna feud with her, I'm like, her heat's about to die for a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of Shotzi at all. I don't think she's ever done anything that has impressed me in any way. So I don't care for her whatsoever. I like Chelsea Green. I think she's pretty cool. I haven't seen too much of her yet, but she's good. And I love Sonya and I love Shayna. Ronda's whatever. I'm iffy on her. So Ronda and Shayna winning, I was happy with. Unless it was Sonya winning, I do wish Shayna had gotten the pin. But I only care that Ronda and Shayna won because I want Shayna to get more over. And I like Shayna a lot.
Yeah. I love Shayna. I like Ronda a lot more as a team with Shayna rather than by herself.
Oh, absolutely.
Love Chelsea Green. I like Sonya Deville a bunch. I do love Liv Morgan, and I feel like she's gotten a lot better over the time in WWE. Like if you compare her now to like a couple years ago, like it's a huge difference. Raquel, I agree with you on her. Natalya. So the thing with Natalya is she was one of the best in the WWE for the women's division like 13 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she sort of stayed that same level while like a whole bunch of better wrestlers surrounded her.
Right. Yeah.
And then old Pizza Cat over there, aka Joey Ryan's penis, aka Shotzi Blackheart. I mean, she's fun, but like she's very botch heavy a lot, and there's been so many like people quote unquote one person in particular has shit on Sasha Banks a lot for like being too dangerous with herself and like landing on her head a bunch and all that. Shotzi is so much worse with that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I hope she gets better because initially when in NXT when she first came out, I liked her mostly because like like her she has like a
cool like aesthetic and like
her vibe, her aesthetic is cool. The tank and like the metal head, blah blah blah, whatever. And the Blackheart thing is cool. My D&D character, her last name is actually Blackheart. I was like, oh, that's cool. Lines up. I didn't name her after her, obviously. It's a cool name, whatever. So I was like, I like that. It's a cool little, whatever. And then just seeing her wrestle over the years, I went from like not caring about her, or at first I thought I gave her a chance, then after a while I just didn't really care for her, and now I don't want to see her. And maybe she'll get better, maybe she'll whatever, but I prefer when she's on my TV.
Yeah.
This match was just about as good as Stu Grayson versus Slim Chase.
There's
some good matches though.
Yeah, and this was one of the best matches of the week, not just of the two Mania nights, of the week in general. The Intercontinental Championship match, Gunther defeated Drew McIntyre and Sheamus to defend the title. Fucking so good. Big meaty man slapping meat. Big E said that this was his favorite match of all time, as you would probably expect.
Yeah.
And then I think he just tweeted a picture of meat after the match. So
I love that, man.
Yeah. Fantastic match. Super hard hitting. Just fucking great. It has a 9.4 on Cage Match.
Jesus.
Yeah, super fucking good.
Oh no, yeah. So this is the one I said that like when I watched it live, the entrances were fucking awesome. Gunther's entrance live was amazing. With the guys talking. Like
I was disappointed there was no. It's a shameful thing. Lobster.
Okay, I was like, wait. Gunther's entrance live was amazing. The big pillars and stuff in the back looked really cool when he was walking by. The dude's huge, so like he's walking down the fucking ramp with the things behind him, looking like an actual like fucking comic book villain. He's amazing. And when I watched the match live, they there was a lot of spots where they were outside the ring and like they were like like you couldn't see one of them for a while. You were wondering if he was doing something. So I was kind of like, at least from where I was sitting, at least I couldn't see too much of the action when it was happening. There were a few things that I could see, like when she was like doing the 10 beats of the belt and whatever it's called. That was cool live, for the most part. But when I watched it live, I was like, oh, that was okay. It was whatever. And then everyone was saying, oh, that was amazing. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean, the way it ended was really cool. The power bomb onto Drew's head, and then Drew gets back up. And
Jesus, right in the fucking back of his head.
Right.
How did the chops sound live?
They were loud. They were pretty loud. Yeah. That's they sounded very similar to the way they were on TV. Honestly, just like obviously from in person, just like boom. It's like okay.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was a good match for sure. But when I saw it live, I didn't think I thought I was like, oh, I expected a little better from it, whatever. Then I watched it on like the Peacock TV and with the actual camera angles and stuff and seeing it like the match itself. It was actually a lot better, and it's one of my favorite matches of the whole weekend. I mean, it might be hard to top it honestly, but like just amazing fucking match. Like I couldn't see the close up of their chests when I was watching it live. You know what I mean? I know they have the big TVs and stuff, but I was trying to watch it just like in the ring if I could. So I couldn't really see their chest and stuff. When watching it on TV, I'm like, oh my god, that's gonna leave a mark. It's gonna leave a stain. It's stuck that way for a while now.
Yeah, super fucking good match. So the next match was the Raw Women's Title match, Bianca Belair versus Asuka. I went into the match wanting Asuka to win, and then I saw Bianca's entrance, and I was like, now I gotta root for Bianca. I mean, I do love Bianca. Bianca is fantastic, but I was wanting Asuka to win heading into it. But then the fucking entrance happened, and it made Brandon cry. Like Brandon got actually emotional watching it. It was great fucking entrance, great match. Bianca did end up winning. There was a little thing in the Discord over Abdul saying that Bianca is the best women's wrestler of all time in WWE, at least. Which I love Bianca. But I wouldn't go quite that far.
I understand where he's coming from. Like I said, I prefer Sasha myself, but it's really hard when you look at, because like when someone makes a statement like that, right? It's like you look at that person on their own and you think, well, like you can't, like Bianca's amazing, but what about all these other women? But when you compare them on a 1-to-1 degree to each person, I feel like there's a pretty good argument to be made. Honestly, she's incredibly athletic, she's incredibly popular, she's really really charismatic, she's great on the mic.
I'll say this: like the women are a lot more important right now to the WWE product than say the '90s or the '80s.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like
it's a hard measuring stick for sure. And I know that a lot of Yoshis are really good too. I don't really watch it too much, but I know that some of them are considered good. But like when I watch her and I see the total package, I mean, it was the argument I made for Sasha Banks before, right? Because I still think Sasha's better, obviously, because I'm biased. For me, Sasha's still the best wrestler ever. But it's the same argument I made for Sasha. Like Bianca's like the total package, and not only that, but she has like the size. She's big. She can carry people around and throw them. She can do these crazy spots with power and with athleticism. Like with both, her storytelling is amazing. It's like almost unmatched in the women's division, and just almost in general.
There's a point Ian makes that Bianca can't lead. Like she can have very very amazing matches with other wrestlers who are capable of leading, but then like he used, for example, her match with Alexa Bliss, where Sasha Banks can get a great match out of Alexa Bliss, but Bianca Belair can't. As an example.
Right. No, that's a good point. I do agree. I mean, obviously, I agree Sasha's better. I'm like, I am biased.
I do think that there's potential for Bianca to one day become the best female wrestler in WWE history. And I think at the moment she is very, very good.
I would say like, okay, Bianca will be a really good wrestler in the way John Cena is, although maybe she's obviously more athletic. And Sasha will be maybe the way like Daniel Bryan is, and that's another 1-to-1 comparison here. But like, you know what I mean? Like Daniel Bryan is like a technical wizard. He's like really really good. He can like I said, he can lead anyone to really good match and stuff. But Bianca has like that amazing. It's like something about her, like the it factor, I guess. Everyone always uses like the it factor, like the she's really really good. She's really athletic. She's really good at storytelling. She does require some better opponents to put on a really good match, but just like I don't know, it's kind of how I view with John Cena, right? John Cena.
I don't know, like could Bryan Danielson have a great match with Great Khali like John Cena did?
Yeah, that's fair.
John Cena is one of like the only people to ever have a great match with Khali. I think Bryan probably could have though.
That's fair. I feel like Bianca would have a better match against someone like Nia Jax than Sasha Banks would.
I guess it could like. She could probably lift Nia Jax.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's like because of her athleticism and stuff. Although, the way John Cena can like lift Khali, you know what I mean? Like,
well, one of the issues with that though is like because it also takes part of the person being lifted, and Nia Jax is like incapable of getting herself up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Yeah, but all in all, I will say I think the argument is there. I do think that it's a fair argument to say Bianca could be the best women's wrestler in the world.
At that point, you need to be as strong as like Brock or Bobby to do something.
Oh yeah, like just force her up with that, whether she wants to or not. Like, nope, you're going up.
I don't think she could do her finisher to Nia.
Yeah, unless Nia actually helped her, I don't think she could either. Well, then again, Bianca lifted Otis. It's pretty insane. Like, she not only did she lift him, she walked across she walked like a pretty good distance with him on her back, and that dude is enormous. I probably couldn't lift him.
Big meaty boy there. And then that leads us to the actual best match of WrestleMania weekend.
Yes.
What was supposed to be Shane McMahon versus The Miz. So The Miz and Snoop came out, and I kept complaining whenever Snoop and Miz came out a week or second night, because Miz was like perfectly fine with Snoop, even though what happened the first night. Where's the continuity? But then finally, Miz was like, you know what, Snoop, you're a son of a bitch. And then it was like, okay, you want to have another match? And then fucking here comes the money hits. Shane McMahon comes out. It's a whole thing. And then so he was gassed by the time he got to the ring. That's the first part. Like, he was super fucking out of breath by the time he got to the ring. The match started, and maybe like 15, 20 seconds into the match, Shane blew his quad doing a fucking leapfrog.
Amazing.
This is the guy who has jumped from the fucking Hell in a Cell perfectly fine, but then he blew his quad doing a fucking leapfrog. And Snoop Dogg, despite being a musician, not being a professional wrestler, had one of the best, like, what's the fucking
saves
word?
like he saved the match.
Improvisation of a spot like that. He came in, decked the fuck out of Miz, decked him a second time, hit him with, for some reason, a really good people's elbow, and then got the win in a match that didn't actually involve him, and it ended up being fun. Shane's tearing his quad. Yeah. Shane's tearing his quad is one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. You know, it was a shit fest, but very fun.
We wish him well, though, right?
I mean, but you know, Snoop Dogg was a real star of this, though.
Of course, yeah.
He's doing well.
The fact that a non-wrestler came in there and basically saved, like, one of the best saves of all time. You know what I mean? Like, things that what was that Elimination Chamber match from a while back where I think someone's pod got stuck for too long?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
it was a mess.
This was complete, like the whole match was derailed.
Yeah, 6 people who are professional wrestlers and trained for this couldn't save a match like that. This guy just comes in and does it super easy without even trying. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
He learned from his cousin, of course.
Yeah.
Mr. Snoopy?
Yeah, well, you know. That leads us to the Hell in a Cell match between Edge and Finn Balor, which apparently me and Razor liked a lot more than most people.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun live, and I enjoyed watching it back. I was like, maybe watching it back, it's a little different. No, watching it back was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I don't understand the arguments I've heard people make about, like, the over choreographed. I think it's fine. I think it was done really well.
Fucking Hell in a Cell. One of the issues I heard people have was them stopping the match to patch up Finn because Hell in a Cell and bleeding. But, like, did y'all see the fucking gash on his head afterwards? Like, the picture of the fucking huge gash on his head from the ladder?
No, clearly, like, Finn should have died, you know?
Yeah, you know, like, safety is more important.
That was the preferable result.
I will say, when we're watching it live, you know, I said WrestleMania is huge crowd. I'm in one section. I can't speak for everyone there, but from what it seemed like, I mean, for my section, and this was fact from the rest of the sections, I think after the Snoop Dogg Miz thing where, you know, they ended the match early because of a shoot injury that Shane had where he broke his quad or whatever. I thought it was in a situation like that. And so there's people around me like, oh, Finn might actually be injured. Oh, he might actually be injured. He might actually be hurt. Oh, that sucks. They're going to end this match early. Blah, blah, blah. So, you know, and the camera kept cutting away from him. We could see him on the floor with, like, someone seeing him, whatever. And it was like, everyone was wondering, like, oh, man, are they going to end this Hell in a Cell early? That sucks. You know, what's going to happen? I even said, like, I yelled, like, oh, bring what's his, I can't forget his name.
Punishment?
Yeah, Punishment. Yeah, I was like, what's his name? Damien? No,
Damien Priest.
Yeah, I was like, bring Damien Priest out. Fuck it, just have him replace him. Just do it. Do something. You know what I mean? Don't end a Hell in a Cell match like this. But, you know, he looked like he was very obviously hurt. So when he did get back up and the match continued, everyone was very happy. At least I could hear. I mean, people in the arena cheered in general, but in my section it was like, oh, thank God it can continue. Let's go. So people might have been mad about that on the internet, but I think, like, in real life, like, people were very happy about the fact that, you know,
he's okay, which is
he's okay for one, and also, like, he can still go, and, like, the match is gonna continue. It's not gonna get.
And also, I felt like Edge did a good job during that, like, improvising, like, trying to take some time to let it happen. He was, like, going out of the ring, getting more weapons. Like, it kept it feeling like, okay, he's still in this. This is still a match happening,
right?
And it allowed time for Finn to get all patched up. Plus, it had one of my favorite Hell in a Cell spots of all time, where Finn actually did a dive off the cell from inside.
Yeah, that was
really
cool,
the first time I've ever seen that happen.
No, seeing that live was crazy too. I thought he was gonna fall from the cage when he jumped to it. Like, he jumped from the rope to the cage. I was like, oh, he's gonna fall. Oh shit, he did it.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was really fun.
Me too. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was better than it was way better than I expected it to be.
Moose, any thoughts?
Yeah, I had dinner. No, I don't even remember what happened. I think I finished the shower and I watched after I watched Snoop Dogg win a match. I took a shower, came in. This was happening. I saw the spot where Finn dived inside the cage. That was cool. Yeah. It was a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Happened.
One thing I saw people complaining about, which is like something where I'm like, okay, it's kind of stupid, but like also it doesn't fucking matter, is like them having colored weapons, like the chairs being red and blue instead of normal. Stuff like that.
I didn't mind that. I like that. That was fine.
You know that's to me that's fine. That seems like something that could be there. It's just when it gets ridiculous, like there's some crazy stuff that wouldn't be under a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Like that's when it gets I
agree with that. I thought the color weapons were fine. I thought they were cool. They had a little touch like of differentness. I don't know.
I don't get the complaining for this match. And that led us to the main event of night 2. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the Universal Championship, where too much controversy, Roman Reigns retained.
What a fucking match, dude.
Great match.
I have so much to say about this. Like, obviously, this was the big match of the weekend. You know, obviously this was like WrestleMania was excellent both nights. But it could have been the worst show ever, as long as like everyone just cared about that match, honestly. Like the rest, every match on both shows, as good as they were, it was all built up to this one thing, right? It was like, oh, is Roman gonna finally lose the titles? Roman versus Cody.
I mean, honestly, it's the only match I really like even kind of cared about the result too.
Yeah, the reason I chose night 2 over night 1 was because I wanted to. Well, I mean, I know the tag team has to be important too, but like I because this was the match. You know what I mean? Like this is like I want to see that match. And honestly, for all the things that happened, it did not disappoint. It was a great fucking match. You know, a lot of up and down, a lot of great storytelling. I've said this before though. I'm okay with Roman retaining. Obviously, as a fan, I was a little disappointed because I'm wearing my Cody shirt right now. I dropped $45 for a Cody shirt at the show. I was like, I don't have a Cody shirt on me. I'm gonna buy one at the fucking merch stand. I don't care how much to pay for it.
Jeff was wearing one as well.
Yeah, nice. Maybe the same one, the undesirable, undeniable.
No, he had the American Nightmare AEW one, I think.
Oh no, I'm wearing the WWE one. It's the same logo, I imagine, just with the American flag over it and a little gold and red shield. But as a fan, obviously, I wanted Cody to win. I really, really, really wanted Cody to win. It was fucking the moment for everyone was hyped for it. When Roman came out, obviously the entrance, amazing. The fucking piano, Final Fantasy-esque fucking final boss theme, fucking awesome. He comes out, long ass entrance, everyone's cheering the whole time. The crowd was immensely split. Even in my section, like I think me, this one guy behind me, and one other guy like near me were the only ones rooting for Cody. Everyone else in my section was rooting for Roman. The kid next to me, I talked about him like my new best friend, like the little Latino kid with a single dad who was like kind of sad. Like the guy was very drunk and he was like kind of like, you know, throughout the night kept mentioning like, oh, this is my kid, you know, like I was left with him and I love him and he's my boy, and he's like tearing up and shit. I'm just like, oh man, I'm sorry. And he's like, you know, I took care of him for a bit because he went to the restroom. He's like, can you wash him? I'm like, yeah, I got him. You know, really sweet guy. The kid was fucking awesome, and he was a mega Roman stan. So like, you know, me and him were having the dueling chants throughout the whole night. And then when Roman won, you know, he pat my shoulder because he was standing on top of the chair next to me. He's like, hey man, it's okay, don't be upset. Like, you know, he'll get him next time. It was a great match. That's all that matters, right? I'm like, yeah, no, you're good, you're good. And then I put my finger up. I was like, yeah, you know, acknowledge Roman. You know, it's cool, it's cool. So it's like great moment. So the thing with the whatever, I'm tired of Roman winning through all this cheating. Like, it's one I get it, like it's like, if you know the bloodline gonna interfere, blah blah blah. Cool. After the KO and Sami thing happened, even if you're gonna have Roman retain, which is fine. Like, again, as a fan, I wanted Cody to win, but the story makes sense. Give him his 1,000 days. Cool. Don't have Solo come back out there and cheat again. Have fucking Roman, even if Roman wants to cheat himself and do a low blow when Paul Heyman got him distracted, whatever you got to do, I don't care. Brass knuckles with Superman put to the brass quarters. Knuckles. That was fucking sick. Literally. Just why the fuck did Solo come back out there after he already got kicked out after the Usos and the Sami
and the and also like the referee looked directly at him when he attacked Cody the one time. Like he looked straight fucking at him.
It's just it gets tiring because like, you know, I love Roman. I think Roman's awesome, but like I get the story is, you know, Roman is like, he's gotten a little lazy because there's the bloodline, but you know, he's a badass in his own right, but he gets lazy because the bloodline's there so they can help him out and have him win. He shouldn't always need them every single match, every single fucking big match. It's like, oh, it gets really, really close. He's about to lose. Oh, look, there's Solo for the 100th time this match.
I'm hoping that he like the bloodline finally splits and he gets a couple like legit wins and then
Yes.
finally loses the title.
This is
Yeah, that's what I
really
wrote, too.
the most comparable thing is how fans felt about Ric Flair in the Four Horsemen, like 1989. Like, when's he ever gonna win on his own?
Mm.
Right, especially with Roman actually being like his gimmick is that he's an actual bad, like he's a he's fucking
he's
cool.
not Rick like, oh no, don't hurt me, please.
Right, Roman, like he used to be the guy that beat 5 guys at once and shit back then. Remember, like I saw a meme where someone's like the only person that can beat Roman now, and it's like old Roman. Like old Roman comes out with the stage. It's like, yeah, like old Roman would have fucked this Roman
To
up.
the Shield team,
Yeah, he would overcome the odds. TM hashtag or whatever. That was his thing. And so Roman is a badass, and obviously he has won a few matches clean. He beat John Cena clean, which is really cool. But it's like it's more of a rare thing than anything nowadays. And I get it does make people look strong because I've argued because people when they're just like, oh, after this, no one can realistically beat Roman. I think that's complete nonsense. Like Roman has beaten most big opponents through mega cheating. Like he beat
you
can have Drew beat him tomorrow and it makes sense. Drew had him beat and then Solo debuted by cheating to help him win. You could have Cody beat him tomorrow. Cody literally had him on the ropes like 4 different times. You could have KO beat him tomorrow. KO almost had him on the ropes, and then the Usos came out and jumped him 4 different times. So anyone can beat Roman at this point. I want what Justin said. I mentioned that before too. I was like, give him 1,000 days. That's in what 2-3 months. In those 2-3 months, have the bloodline fall apart. Add more to the Cody story. Cool. I'm all for that. Sounds great. The bloodline falls apart because Cody realizes they're a threat and goes and picks them apart.
After Raw, I don't think Cody's going to be much of a
because of Brock. Yeah. Whatever happens with Brock, let him deal with Brock first, and then he goes to deal with the bloodline or whatever the fuck. They implode. Maybe Roman has to fight Jay again. I think Roman should probably win that. And then maybe Roman has some other matches that he wins clean without the bloodline. They're gone now. He can't be lazy anymore. It's a story, build him up, and then Cody comes back and fucks him up at SummerSlam or something. Perfect. There you go.
At this point, I do want Roman to lose the title at this point at SummerSlam. I don't want him to carry the title again all the way to another WrestleMania, but I also don't want him to lose it on like a random pay-per-view. Like it feels like it has to be WrestleMania or SummerSlam.
Nah, it's gonna be live house show at Madison Square Garden or something.
Yeah.
I think it could be at MSG. MSG is a pretty big event.
See, like, so one of the issues is it was very deflating for people watching WrestleMania. It's like they can still make it good. Like it's just because Roman won here doesn't mean the whole thing's fucked. But it was like the moment felt very deflating for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
But like another issue is Vince now. Like there's a lot of worry.
Before we get into that, and we should talk about that, I'll say, this just goes to show we can never trust referee Rudy Charles. Like, look at how many times he's like helped. Well, I'm gonna say helped now, but I'm getting into the conspiracy theories. How many times he's helped Jeff Jarrett retain the NAA world title in TNA, and now he's helping Roman retain the world title in WWE.
He straight up watched Solo hit Cody one of those times. Like he didn't even look away.
Yeah. I feel like Roman paid someone to make sure. Yeah, we need Rudy in the main event. Okay.
Yeah. It was a great match though. Fantastic way to end WrestleMania. Aside from but like the match itself.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Better than Supercard of Honor. Let's say that.
Yeah. I agree. Supercard of Honor.
The people on Cage Match don't agree yet, but whatever.
Yeah. Wrestle Night 1 has a great rating on Cage Match. Night 2 not so great. Although I thought Night 2 was really good. I thought Night 1 was better, but I thought Night 2 was really good. It just had a very deflating ending.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Mark Briscoe versus Samoa Joe. That finish was way sadder than Cody versus Roman.
I will say that when I was watching it live, the deflating ending thing, I think it came across a lot more that way on TV because I will say I was there live and like people were definitely obviously sad, like including me, obviously.
I think on TV it seemed more like the fans were behind Cody and against Roman than the split.
Yeah, because in person, it was very split to the point where I almost thought most of the crowd wanted Roman. Because they were changing. Like, when we were doing the Cody Roman chants, like I heard Roman a lot more than Cody, even though I was screaming Cody with my fucking lost ass voice. So I lost my voice. I was like Cody, everyone Roman, and like it sounded like a lot more people were going for Roman. And when Roman won, like at first people were just like, oh shit, but then I heard like a loud like yeah, and people started around like jumping. The kid next to me, yeah. So I mean, like I say, it could have been just different textures and stuff, but I don't know. On TV, it looked a lot more deflating. In person, it seemed like most people were happy with it, and then like post the event, everywhere we went, all we heard is fucking Roman fans. Like, and we're like, I was walking out. Oh my! So I told my friend this story earlier, but like, because like my eyes get very watery when it's windy and cold, and the air hits my eyes get watery. And I had my fucking Cody shirt on, and I was walking to my friend's car outside, walking through the arena. It's a long walk out, whatever. We got to the outside, the air was hitting me, and I was looking in the parking lot myself. It was like it was kind of brightish because of the lights and stuff, but whatever. And like it was hitting my eyes got a little watery. And this guy with the Roman shirt walks by me, looks me dead in the eyes, and he was like, "Hey man, you good?" He kept walking. I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh God, my eyes are watering, and I'm wearing my Cody shirt." Everything's like some nerd is like crying because Cody lost. I love Roman. I obviously wanted Cody to win, but I was also okay with him winning. That I would have preferred Cody win, obviously. My biggest complaint was how it happened. I would have been completely fine with Roman winning. Like I said, the crowd seemed to be very behind Roman anyway. I would have much preferred Cody winning. Or if Roman's gonna win, at least make it in like a different way, not some bullshit Solo comes back again and ruins the whole thing again. It's stupid. But I had no problem with it. I think my biggest issue was how it happened, and that didn't really ruin it for me. It was kind of just like like I still hope Cody comes back around and wins it. That'll make that more satisfying. I know they obviously want to give Roman his 1,000 days. Cool, give him to him. It's like what, 2 more months from now? He's held it for like 940 days. 2 months from now, that's 2 pay-per-views. You can have him hold it more. Then after that, have him lose it at MSG, SummerSlam, whatever. But yeah, and then like when I was walking out of the arena, we were driving out of the arena. There were people playing Roman's theme song in their cars with the windows rolled down with their fingers up. People would like drive by and like put their fingers up and stuff. Like Roman is a star. Like I know, like the internet maybe doesn't like him very much, or like maybe like on TV it came across a certain way, but in person, it seemed like people were very.
I think people like him. It's just people wanted Cody to be the one to finally end the thing here after coming back from that injury, winning the Rumble, and all that. Like it felt like this was the best moment to take the title off of Roman.
I agree. No, I agree with that. I mean, that's what I wanted too. That's what I really, really wanted Cody to win. I wanted to be there.
Like, from surveys, it seems like the only former WWE champion people don't really know is AJ Styles.
I feel like it's less an issue of people disliking Roman and more an issue of people now being worried about the direction WWE is going to go with this because of stuff we're going to be getting into soon about the sale and about Vince McMahon,
right?
Seemingly getting involved a lot more now.
Yeah, we might as well talk about now. We talked about WrestleMania, so the big news coming out this weekend is WWE is being sold to Endeavor, right?
Yeah, Endeavor. So it's going to be like owned by the same company that owns UFC. I don't really know what that means from like a business perspective, or if there's going to be any overlapping between UFC and WWE.
So UFC fighters do get paid better than WWE stars, but also under the new management, UFC hasn't. They've been fine with getting rid of stars that they feel are, or just letting people go, and if they're, and they're not afraid to like try out new people. I think that's might be worrying for some people that have been in WWE for over a decade, but it's sorry, but there does have to be a roster turnover, and I think that's something people have been looking forward to, kind of.
I know something a lot of people have been focused on is the fact that Vince is seemingly like back in charge. He claimed that like he's gonna be a part of the process, but still gonna be like majority onto Triple H. But then all of the stuff with Raw, I didn't watch Raw, but I've heard stuff that happened. And one of the big concerns in regards to like thinking Vince McMahon is fully back in charge is there were apparently rewrites of the show all the way up to like 15 minutes before they went live. Like there was stuff that was advertised that got changed last second.
Yeah, it seems like very Vince.
It's a very Vince thing to have happen. And so like people are worried on account of that.
So my feelings on this, I have a few notes. One is like, I don't know if Vince is back in charge or not. Like I said, like the Raw thing was concerning because like there were, like I think the big noticeable one was Seth's promo, or a quote unquote promo.
Yeah, like he got like cut, like he came out to do a promo, I guess, like during the commercial break, like he started coming out, but then like apparently they told him that his thing was canceled, and he got fucking pissed.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a work or not. Because again, like I mean, I've talked about this before with like Abdul and stuff. I think before where I said like
strange.
I really, really don't trust wrestling journalism necessarily. I think like a lot of it. And I
Well,
don't blame
wrestling journalism. I'll agree. It's it's not very high standard. I mean, the thing is like wrestling just isn't popular, so
right. And again, I don't blame them. Like they have their sources from like like a wrestler in the building told me this and I have to report it because it's I understand it's not the same thing as like a CNBC journalist being on the floor in a war zone taking notes and reporting on what I mean. Like obviously wrestling and sports in general, journalism is gonna be very, very iffy. So I've always been very concerned with like, oh, reportedly this happened, reportedly that happened. Like for me, it's always about what ends up being on the screen. And the thing with the Seth thing that that was pretty weird. Like that was pretty big, whatever. For me, the only indicators with like that whether or not Vince is really, really back in charge will be one, what they say directly, which in this case he did say like, oh, Triple H is in charge or in their head, but I will also be part of it, which means he is in charge to some degree. And Vince is like if he's the head of it, like what can Triple H really do? You know what I mean? Like, okay, like, I'm gonna book this, and then Vince doesn't like it. Well, he changes it. So it's like that kind of. And then on the other hand of that, there's also that'll depend on how much he lets Triple H do his thing and not interfere too much. The other end of that is what ends up being on my TV. That's like the big thing I care about, right? And Raw was pretty bad. There are a few things that I think people are being too like worried about. Like I think the Cody Brock thing. I watched it. I enjoyed it. My thing will be obviously how it plays out. Like,
if Cody wins, then
yes, exactly. If Cody beats Brock to get his heat back, he uses Brock to get his heat back. I mean, people are comparing it to John Cena because like, oh, John Cena lost that match. He had the same pose when he's sitting in the ring looking sad, and then the next day he shakes Brock's hand and then gets F5.
I was thinking more like Cody versus who was it? Like he wrestled someone and then like he comes out later on a freaking I forget, was it? I don't think it was. I think it was when he was feuding with the Dark Order, and he wrestles a match, and he comes out with like a short crutch, so that he had to bend over to use it. It wasn't even like I forget.
If people are comparing it to the Cena thing with Brock, like shouldn't they be less worried? Because Cena won that match.
Yeah, and then exactly, and Cena's
Extreme Rules and won.
Cena, like. Is Cody going to be John Cena? I hope so. That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not worried about that. I do want to see where it goes. Obviously, if Brock ends up beating him and they have a long feud and Brock ends up beating him in the end, I think that at that point I'll say yes. People were right. Yeah. Vince is back in charge, and this sucks. And look, part of this, like, I'm not going to defend Vince because I'm someone that like. Though as a general thing, I'm a wrestling fan. I'll occasionally watch like a different show. Maybe every now and then I hop into BC and watch like some NJPW thing or AEW thing or whatever. I'm not a big fan of like overall wrestling. I'm more of a WWE fan, right? It's always my thing. I literally stopped watching wrestling before Triple H took over again, like a while back. So I'm not defending Vince. Like I think Vince, first off, as a person, he's a horrible person.
It's definitely a situation where we sort of have to wait and see. What happens?
Exactly.
It's too early to be definitively like, yeah, Vince is fully in charge. Everything's fucked.
I'm afraid of what happens when Vince is gone.
Oh, like because they might if people, Ari, Emanuel, whoever else, they might not have Triple H replace Vince. Yeah. They might just send one of their own guys, and they don't.
Yeah, I mean, we might get another like what was the guy's name? The guy the Pizza Hut dude who ran WCW after Crockett Promotions went under. Jim Herd, that's it.
Huh.
I don't know. I just know Ari Emanuel wanted Vince, and if Vince, dies or whatever, like I don't know who to replace him with. I don't know if he'll even want Triple H. I know people. It makes sense as a wrestling fan, but as like this person that doesn't know anything about them, I just be like, oh, that guy died. Get this other person that I know in there. Cool, yeah, get him in. You know what I mean? Like, so the point I was gonna make though, like, not only like the Vince thing. Again, I clarified it. I'm not defending Vince. I don't like Vince McMahon. I'm not here being like, oh, it'll be fine. He's cool. No, I know he sucks, but people also don't always give him credit when he does deserve it. And there are a few things that I've seen people say where it's like, it's almost a meme where they'll be like, oh, bad booking, Vince did it, good booking, Triple H did it. Like I do think Triple H booked WrestleMania. It makes sense, like both nights. Triple H does like his heels being strong and winning, and then the babyface finally wins for 2 months, loses it to another heel. NXT was very similar. But on top of that, like, for example, we'll say like, oh well, R.I.P. Gunther, R.I.P. Cody, blah blah blah. Like for sure, like Vince is the one that hired Cody. He's the one that wanted Cody, and his push started under Vince. If you remember that, I remember when Vince, like Cody and Vince are friends, like they like each other. You know what I mean? Like he hired Cody, said like, hey, I think people were worried that Triple H was not going to use him correctly, which he did. He used him well, but like people were like, oh, Triple H is going to use him well because he's a Vince hire, and Triple H and Cody have beef. The whole throne smashing thing, blah blah blah. But Vince is the one that hired Cody. He went out of his way to be like, I like this guy a lot. Come to my company. We'll give you this push, and we'll shoot you to the moon. Blah 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 blah. So Vince obviously loves Cody. Gunther, his big push started with Vince. I know
Gunther is like one of the few people who I think like even if it's Vince in charge, like he's safe. It's
because Vince likes Gunther. Like his push started under Vince.
I mean, he's fucking massive. He's super over. Like that's somebody I don't think
he's got the Nazi name.
Exactly. Vince is a Nazi.
Yeah.
Vince is a Nazi, and Gunther's I mean, obviously Vince likes Gunther. The push started under him. It's gonna
plus he's in like much better shape now than he used to be. Like he was always big, but like he was like more pudgy big before. Now he's like in super fucking good shape.
Oh, Vince here, that guy look good, man.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about them. Like I said, they want to assume everything good is Triple H, everything bad is Vince. And again, as someone that stopped watching wrestling when this is around, I'm not defending him. I'm just saying like that's not always true. There are some things that will be fine. Vince obviously likes KO. KO got the Stone Cold main event because of Vince. There's plenty of guys that everyone likes that Vince also likes a lot that they'll be fine regardless. You know what I mean? But there's obviously some guys like I think like poor Johnny might be fucked. Gargano, like he obviously Vince doesn't care for him very much. And then
I don't know how much Vince likes Sami Zayn.
Right, and then there's LA Knight. I think LA Knight isn't like
which is weird because like he seems like the kind of one that Vince would like.
I think it's because he's old. I think that Vince shit on him because he was old, which is not his fault. He had the audacity to be 40.
He had the audacity to age.
Yeah,
to keep living.
Right. Vince is like, if I don't age, you shouldn't either. Yeah, I know. I said there are some guys that'll be fine. Regardless, but the only way we'll see, like I said, is wait and see. I'm not gonna go full doomer on it yet. I think Raw was pretty bad, but I think it could lead to a lot of good stuff depending on where they go with it. I think Brock versus Cody. I liked it a lot. I was hyped for that. As long as obviously Cody doesn't get jobbed out. People are being preemptively weird, which is just the way people are wrestling fans, especially.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait and see. I'll wait and see how it goes, and I'll just enjoy it as it goes. And if I get to the point where I don't like wrestling anymore, I'll just stop watching it again.
Yeah.
I wanted to close out with something, but before that, I want to say really quick: this podcast is brought to you by Dubby, the energy drink powder. Very good stuff.
We have 2 sponsors now.
Yeah, this podcast has got 2 sponsors. Dubby, I've been really enjoying it. Trying the fruit punch flavor. It's really good. I'm really enjoying Dubby. I've replaced having energy drinks and sodas over that, and I've been losing weight. And I think drinking Dubby goes down a lot easier than Monster or Rockstar. Because it is mixed with water, and I save a lot of money. Like I've been saying I go to the store and these things are $5-6. These energy drinks, and Dubby, it's like $40, and if it's not even that, if you buy a tub and you go use the link in the description below, or if you're old timey, you put in the address www.w.gg and you're in the in the checkout, put in the discount code area, go for tuck, not go for and tech.
Go for tuck, all one word. You put that in there, you get 10% off your total order, like all the stuff.
Yeah. I've been enjoying the powders.
And if I think it's if we get 15 sales through that within a year, we like upgrade to like the next sponsor level. So if you want to see us do really fucking stupid full video ads, there you go. You can enjoy some energy powder and get stupid video ads out of us.
There you go. And that's really good. I feel like we're doing this backwards, but this is the big story. Your guy Don the Con, he's been indicted.
Yes, we have to get a little. It wouldn't be a Go for Talk podcast without little Don the Con being mentioned. Get.
I saw some brilliant person post a tweet from Super Mega News saying, "Breaking: Trump says I'm sorry. All charges have been dropped."
with a crying face. Don't forget that. Gotta get the crying face in there.
Very
Otherwise, like, how would they know it's sincere?
Right. Yeah.
You know, but he's Sowie, and you know, I mean, all charges have officially been dropped. It's obviously it's great that he's indicted. It's stupid that this is what he's indicted for.
Well, no, I mean he broke the law, so why is it stupid?
but because like there's so much more shit he should have been indicted for. That's worse.
Well, they got like first. I mean, here's the argument for doing it this way. Like, the first person has to be the first person. It was gonna be tough for them. They had to do it. They had to do it first, and for the second person, whoever, like, because if he was part of trying to steal the election in Georgia, absolutely he should go to jail. And he did say, "Find me the votes," and there was fake electors. So I think he is connected, even without him being like having been involved with getting the fake electors. I think, I mean, just saying that, see how be something ought to happen. The insurrection, like, but yeah, they had something for the Stormy Daniels stuff where he paid. I think this is what it is. Like, he paid her off with company funds, whatever.
Yeah.
And it goes like, I mean, yeah, it, like that. Of all the stuff he done, that's probably one of the lesser things. Although if he wasn't president and he was just some billionaire, this would be like a huge deal. I mean,
yeah. All the things he's done would have been huge deals if he wasn't president. But at least it's something. At least he's getting indicted for something. Hopefully, something actually comes of this. Hopefully, dude's finally in jail.
Well, I'm hoping, like, I don't know if he goes to jail over this, but I'm hoping this brings more indictments.
Yeah.
Opens the door to, like, people saying, "All right, we can indict a former president of the United States."
Yeah.
And I feel like this does really hurt his election chances. It helps him for the Republican primary, which I think is great, and it helps his general election chances, which I think is great too. I mean, I'll say it too. I think Donald Trump is way better than Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think DeSantis is probably the worst person to run for president ever. Maybe like a long time. I will say, like I said, it is a little weird that that's what they got him for, but that's fine. And I've heard people make the argument of like, you're helping his chances because now people are gonna get, first off, anyone that's getting riled up at Trump for getting arrested for a crime was already gonna vote for Trump.
Yeah.
Like, like, you're not gonna win any new voters for being like, he's getting arrested for a crime, I'm gonna vote for him now. No one's doing that.
I feel like if you're too afraid to like enforce the law, you've already, because his supporters are gonna do something, you've already lost.
Yeah, that's the point. Watch me react. Like, I agree with that. Like, it's like, like if you shouldn't go off like laws based off like, was this gonna help an election or not? So that's what my big point. Like, it doesn't really matter either way. People say, I don't. You could tell me that it guarantees his win, and he should still do it because it's like, you broke the law, you're getting fined for it, you're getting in trouble for it, you got caught. Probably about, I get that. Politicians are corrupt and politicians this and this and this and this. As that's probably true, but the thing is, like, most of them are smart about the way they do their things and to avoid this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Trump wasn't. He broke like 100 laws just openly. Like, you gotta punish him for that. I don't know, and I think he should go to jail. Obviously keep him out of the White House. He could just pardon himself, which would be really, really silly. But
yeah.
Well, yeah, at least it's finally happened. Former WWE Hall of Famer too.
Yeah, former WrestleMania 23 headliner.
Yeah.
The star of Home Alone 2, except for when they like edited him out.
Oh, did they edit him out?
Yeah, they back in a few years ago, they finally edited him out of the movie.
I'm like, for what? It's not like he's even like, he's sort of just a cameo appearance, like,
just because they don't want him in the movie anymore. Because fuck him.
That's fine with him, and like I really feel like it doesn't matter, but whatever they want to do from, with their product,
so long ago.
Like
now,
like they edit Trump out before all the blackface in these old timely movies.
Yeah. I do think he should be removed from the WWE Hall of Fame, but there's also quite a few people who should be removed from that.
Yeah, it's the WWE Hall of Fame. It's sort of like the worst people need to get in there. Like, when's Marty Jannetty gonna get in? Is he in? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Man. Well, anyway, this has been On Top of the World. We've been joined by our friend Razor. This has been a fun episode. I don't know if we're gonna do the record numbers we did last year, but yeah, They like the WrestleManias.
Yeah, and we have Razor with us. He was here. Thank you for hanging out, Razor.
Oh, anytime, resident Mark reporting in. I'm a proud Mark.
He is a proud Mark.
I'm one of them smarks. I watched Stu Grayson versus Slim J.
And that is, he managed to get 2 references to Stu Grayson versus Slim J in the WrestleMania episode.
Absolutely, I needed to do that.
Yeah, no references to NWA Power though.
Yeah, this reminds me of the time Austin Idol was on commentary.
There it is. There it is.
There we go. This has been On Top of the World. See, is there gonna be another Tetris video going up?
Yeah, there's one more episode of Point. Well, actually, it's probably up already by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, this goes up Saturday.
Yeah,
That's Friday.
So Friday there will be one more episode up now on YouTube.
Watch it.
Yeah, you'll watch Brandon get very upset playing Boyo Boyo Tetris. And yeah,
go for it. Rapid Coliseum the 15th.
Yeah,
Honor Forever might still be going on Tuesdays, and we're here on YouTube every
Razor,
Saturday
do you
morning.
want to tell the people your like Twitter account so they can follow?
Sure. I don't ever tweet anything. I only retweet stuff, but people still, for some reason, still follow me. I think like Bosch's editor follows me. Like I think Xander. Random people fucking follow me, and I'm just like, I don't tweet anything. But if you want, it's Jesus Walks with 2 Z's at the end instead of an S. Again,
Kanye fan.
Big Kanye fan, of course. Yes, that's it's not because my name is Jesus or anything. But yeah, like you want to follow me, go ahead. I don't tweet anything ever, but feel free. See my like my retweets, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of political retweets on there. Fun stuff.
Yeah, and thanks for listening, and have a great rest of your day.
See you next week.
Adios.